Making an unwelcome return to the FF1M calendar is Round 17's Abu Dhabi circuit, Yas Marina as it's otherwise known. It alternates with Bahrain, that being the other desert racetrack of the season. And 2008's race here saw Bruno Senna take a win from Jenson Button and Nelson Piquet. Bruno Senna did qualify pole position. In that particular season, Shannon's did dominate qualifying a lot. Not so dominating this qualifying session, but nevertheless a pole position for Fernando Alonso. Kind of needs it really after making two woeful errors, let's put it that way. One in USA, that was just silly, and then Singapore less silly but an error nonetheless. Outqualifies Hülkenberg by less than a tenth, who starts second. Other Tornado Raikkonen is third, Kobayashi fourth, and Hamilton in fifth position. To guarantee him the championship, he needs third place. So a couple of positions to gain, but we know he is very strong. Vettel was fourth, Buemi fifth, and qualifying quite well this time round is Jenson Button. It's a lot higher than Grosjean, 8 places higher. And once again, Glock not displaying good form. So the 5 lights go out, and looks like Alonso's got a good enough start. There's a Shannon flying. It must be Vettel. He's had a good start. Alonso holds on to the lead at the end of the first corner, and Glock has an odd and awful start, dropping down to last position. What on earth is going on there? But it's Alonso leading from Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Vettel, Kobayashi. And where's Hamilton gone? He's not had a good start. He's dropped down to 8th. Looks like he might have had a very slow launch because Vettel was pretty much alongside him when they crossed the line. Hamilton's dropped behind even Jenson Button. So we go down the back straight here. And let's have a look and see what's going on as they brake hard for this very slow chicane, having emerged from a very slow hairpin. Now they're going for a very long straight into another sequence of slow corners. That is Kovalainen, who has lost positions to, looks like Perez. Perez has had quite a good start. As we go through this chicane. Really is a terrible circuit. The facilities look nice, but the circuit is beyond awful. I mean, this corner looks good, but it's flat out, so there's no real challenge. Alonso not streaking away much. There is Hülkenberg behind. And we know the Mitchells have been very good of late. So, let's see how this race pans out. It's 55 laps, so at least we don't have to see this circuit too much. At the end of lap 1, Alonso leads from Hülkenberg and Raikkonen in third position. Looking good for Tornado in terms of Constructors' Championship. Hamilton chasing Jenson Button. He's just half a second behind. Rubens Barrichello outbraking Sergio Perez into the very slow chicane number 1. Well, number 2 actually, and turns 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are very slow. This is Glock making a look at Perez into slow chicane number 3. Now then, this is Buemi, who is going to stare at Kobayashi's gearbox. So as they go into this hairpin, onto the long straight. So this is a good opportunity for Buemi to get some good slipstream onto Kobayashi there. Just behind them, Hamilton may have a look at Jenson Button, but Button looks as if he is far enough ahead. And Buemi has not got past Kobayashi. Buemi is, of course, out of the championship now after reliability hindered him in Singapore. So, what could have been for Mitchell may have to wait until next season for a Drivers' Championship, but Constructors' Championship is very much wide open. Up the inside, into 5th position goes Sebastian Buemi. Now he chases after Sebastian Vettel, the man that held on to second quite brilliantly from Jarno Trulli at the Singapore circuit. And there is a car off, it's a Guy Racing. Is that Rosberg or Kubica? We'll find out shortly. So if man waving the green flag, it's Rosberg, and he's had a gearbox problem. And why has Buemi dropped down to 11th position? Has he got some sort of mechanical problem already? He has, and he's just ducked into the pits, blocking Kubica. There's a brake problem there. So once again, Buemi's being hindered by unreliability. Not good for him, but let's see how far he can fight back. As he pulls into his pit box of mechanics here. So expecting a mix between 1 and 2 stops here. Probably most will take the 2-stop route. Tyre wear isn't exactly high on this circuit. So Buemi could use this as his first of 2 stops. So as they go past underneath to exit the pits, rather unique, but it still doesn't change my opinion about the circuit. Mark Webber has a look at Kubica for 11th position. Field's spreading out quite a lot actually. Hamilton's drop behind button. This is Piquet, and there is a Pedersen that's parked off there, I think. And Piquet spins, and whoa, Grosjean has hit him. Oh, has that put Grosjean out of the race as well? Yep, Grosjean and Piquet out. So like a lack of awareness there from Grosjean. Now then Buemi begins his fight back. Tried to get up the inside of Rubens Barrichello, but that didn't exactly work. Alonso's 3.6 seconds ahead of Hülkenberg. Raikkonen a further 4.2 back. Vettel will be something about 20 seconds back. Vettel pits actually for his first of 2 stops as Buemi makes his move on Rubens Barrichello. They're side by side, but nothing coming of it. And is that Glock behind them? It certainly is. So, becoming a 3-way battle shortly. That'll be Chandok that's pulled off. And Buemi is spinning, and that's a mirror of what happened between Piquet and Grosjean, but the speeds there were slower, so that it didn't really cost, well, them the race, effectively. Into the pits comes 3rd place Kimi Raikkonen. Maybe he can use the undercut to get past Hülkenberg. So Tornado could win the Constructors' Championship on this particular race. If the gap is more than 20 points between themselves and Shake and Bake or Mitchell, then that'll be Tornado's Constructors' Championship win. Reliability's not been too bad for them. So they've got a pretty decent chance with where they are at the moment. Just depends if Alonso can actually keep his car on the road this time. Now as Raikkonen exits the pits from a 12-second pit stop, he'll rejoin 7th, so in between Suttil and Vettel. Vettel's already made his pit stop. Vettel's getting quite a lot of time with that actually. And there is Raikkonen having a spin, and that's put Vettel up to 7th. No doubt Suttil will drop back a bit and rejoining. Now where's he going? Well, he's all over the place. And that is Hülkenberg, who has got a problem with his car. Pulls off the track. There's another car in front of him as well that's just pulled off. That looks like a Dark Wolf. So Hülkenberg has got a loose wheel. That helps Tornado. As Fernando Alonso makes his pit stop. I think that was Kovalainen that had pulled off the track. It was definitely a green car, which was definitely a Dark Wolf. Now then, just behind Tornado, the Shake and Bake mechanics were out as well, so we're expecting a pit stop from them. Probably Hamilton. Half a second quicker than his own teammates stop. I wonder if there's any favouritism going on there. Especially if, as Alonso is staying at Tornado. And Raikkonen is moving to FGR next season. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a conspiracy theorist there. So he rejoins the track in 3rd position behind Kobayashi and Jenson Button in the lead. And that is Hamilton that's behind him, so the pit stop would have been for Glock. You see how much traction Alonso has more already than Hamilton. He's already right up to Jenson Button. Hamilton's not even made a pit stop, so it's looking very good for Fernando Alonso. And once again, Kimi Raikkonen getting his braking completely wrong. Drivers seem to be having a problem with that corner. Will Alonso be one of those? Coming up to Kobayashi, Jenson Button is in the pits at the moment. And that was very, very weird from Alonso there. Getting past Kobayashi and then shunting into that was Perez actually. And Senna's out of the race with an oil leak, so once again LeBlanc's unreliability catching them out. Into the hairpin, so Alonso is now in the lead despite some barging from him. Been a good race from Jenson Button so far. He's stayed ahead of Hamilton and he's not far behind Kimi Raikkonen, so they'll be in a net 4th position when Kobayashi and Kubica make their pit stops. Could be their one stop, Kobayashi and Kubica. We'll see how that works for them. So Vettel is in a net 2nd. Kubica looks like he's in the pits. We're just seeing him drop behind Kimi Raikkonen. That could be a position loss. Just wait for the graphics to turn up there. Yeah, you can see that Dark Wolf pulled off at the end. They're the only team at the moment who haven't announced their drivers. There are still a lot of drivers that are looking for a drive. We'll just get to them in a moment, but certainly it's become their trademark tactic is to wait until there are a lot of drivers available. So Glock is available, as is Heikki Kovalainen, I believe, is available, and Bruno Senna, I think, as well. Now, what's going on here? That is a shunt between. Look at blooming heck! That was Kobayashi trying to lap the GRM. Now he's ended up upside down. Goodness me, that was horrifically scary. So that's him out of the race. Well, goodness me. This is Hamilton having a look at Kubica, who wasn't in the pits. It was just a loss of position against... Well, now Jenson Button's got past as well. Yeah, what a frightening accident that was for Kobayashi. Hope he's alright. Hamilton just having a look at Button now. Doesn't make the same mistake as Kimi Raikkonen twice. And Piquet. Sebastian Buemi is showing up as hasn't stopped, but that's not accurate because he was in the pits very first. Fernando Alonso's out of the race. What's just happened? Let's see what happens. He just pulls off. That means Hamilton is the world champion now. No matter what happens to him, Lewis Hamilton has just won the championship. That was just so sudden. Nobody was expecting that, and there is confirmation. Lewis Hamilton is the world champion. Could mean as well that... Yeah, it could mean as well that the Constructors lives on for the next race. Well, reliability catches Tornado out. So that moves Sebastian Vettel into the lead with a 20-second lead over Kimi Raikkonen. So that's looking good for him. But Shannon's reliability hasn't exactly been good this season, but that was true of Andy Racing in Singapore, but Suttil held on to take the victory there. So you never know, it could work out quite well for Vettel. That'll move Raikkonen up into 2nd position. And Jenson Button in 3rd. Lewis Hamilton is currently in 4th position. Doesn't matter where he finishes, he can just pull in and have a cup of tea if he wants. He'll still be world champion. Webber's in 5th position, so that's quite a good effort from him. Kubica 6th and Timo Glock in 7th. That will just be enough to keep Shakenbeck's Constructors' Championship hopes alive, if the positions stay that way. Into the pits comes Vettel, and we'll see how long this pit stop is. Jenson Button hasn't had a podium since the Malaysian race. Yeah, I said it's been a very difficult season for Button. Even so, he has a drive at LeBlanc next season alongside young Australian hopeful Daniel Ricciardo. So at least Jenson's seat is safe. Now as the Vettel rejoins the track, where does he rejoin? It's 4th position, so you obviously lose a lot of time when you're in the pits. Kimi Raikkonen now takes the lead from Button and then Hamilton. Rubens Barrichello's having a very good race at the moment. He's in 8th position. Coming up to Timo Glock. Just nudges the back and has a quick spin. Now then, what's happening here? Oh, dearie me. Buemi's lost a wheel. Has Rubens lost his tyre as well? I think he has. It looks like it is leaning a bit on the left front. There's confirmation. Buemi, I think. We're just about to see it. Yep, unfortunately Rubens Barrichello's out as well. So, well, that was very clumsy from Buemi. A bit similar to Grosjean, actually. Then again, Rubens did nudge the car in front. This is Kimi Raikkonen in the lead at the moment. He'll lose it to Vettel, no doubt. Once Button makes his stop from 2nd position, so we'll just see Raikkonen peel off to the right. Yep, he does. Be a short stop, and he will have the advantage of fresh tyres. Even so, it's hard to see Vettel being challenged. In fact, earlier on I said Senna had a free seat. He's in fact at Guy Racing alongside Felipe Massa, making his return to FF1M, having sat a year out. Raced in FJR in 2009, where he actually outshone Kubica a little bit. Now what have we got here? We've got Jenson Button being challenged by Vettel. Button in the lead, has not yet stopped for his 2nd stop. But Vettel will take that lead, outbraking him. Yep, clean move from Vettel. Hasn't done the same mistake as a lot of drivers at the first slow chicane. Just expecting Button any moment to come into the pits. His tyres are pretty knackered. Might drop behind Hamilton, actually. Hamilton may have got the undercut on him. Vettel being delayed by his own teammate, and badly by his own teammate, and Jenson Button sweeps past Perez. There you see Button coming into the pits. Probably might rejoin behind Hamilton, but he will have the freshest of the 4 tyres. Into his yellow mechanics. FJR's car will be black and gold. So the mechanics have some justification to be yellow at the moment. Well, it looks like the Jackman is sitting on top of the car. 9.4 seconds, that's a very fast stop there from the former world champion. As he exits the pits, underneath turn 1, then comes out in the middle of turn 2 and 3. Peels left, then to the right. He's in 4th, expected there, as Hamilton is very quick at the moment. There is the new world champion. And there is the world champion stopped. So, yeah, his car failed. But it doesn't matter, you're world champion, back-to-back world champion. That'll move Jenson up into 3rd position. And here is 4th placed Mark Webber. Just going round turn 3. And then a quick little kink into turn, and he's pulling off. Mark Webber pulling out of 4th position. That'll move Kubica up into 4th. And clattering over the curbs and coming to a stop against the guardrail. So, once again, another reliability problem for LeBlanc. They might have to address that for the next season. And Vettel holding on to the lead, so he's got 12 seconds over Kimi Raikkonen. Looking good for him at the moment. Webber might hold on to a point, it just depends on how the order shapes out. Gary Paffett's up into 8th position, so nice steady run for him. Might have caused a collision against Kobayashi. I think it was that GRM. Yeah, it must have been Barrichello. No, Barrichello retired after that, so it could have been either the GRMs that put Kobayashi in a life-threatening situation. But we hear Kobayashi is alright, so that's good. Could have won the race in Brazil, could have won the race in Singapore, had the reliability for Sutil failed. But finally, it looks as if Vettel is going to return back to the top, back to his winning ways. Only got one more corner to negotiate. There you have it, Vettel is a race winner once again. He is the seventh different winner of the season, I beg your pardon. With that, he'll move ahead of Hülkenberg, up into 5th position in the championship. And there you have it. And Webber didn't get a point in the end. He got passed by Perez. So Perez gets his first points of the season. It is only one, but points is points. Kimi Raikkonen second. Jenson Button back on the podium. Had a strong qualifying, so wasn't down to, well, partly reliability, but nevertheless, good result for Button. Kubica 4th ahead of Glock in 5th position. And Jarno Trulli 6th. And there we see confirmation Hamilton is the world champion, 5 wins over Alonso, who had 4. But the 18-point gap is the big point of there. So Buemi is in 3rd at the moment, but 3rd could still go to Raikkonen or maybe even Vettel, depending on how the last race goes. There you can see Hülkenberg 6th, Suttil 7th and Romain Grosjean in 8th. And Tornado have in fact won the Constructors' Championship. So Shake and Bake don't retain their Constructors. And they may come under pressure from Mitchell. Again, it depends on how the last race will go. And they can see FJR just about holding on to 4th, but they could come under threat from Shannon. In 9th place in the Constructors, Andy Racing, they have actually had a win. But we'll see if the last race, which is at Japan.